Hello. Hi, it's Dr. Taylor. Welcome to listening to Dr. Taylor. So our subject matter today is marriage counseling essential? Um, I think that it is. It depends on where you want to go in your relationship with the other party. Sometimes you may not be in alignment with agreeing on things, and it would be helpful sometimes if there's a third party listening in on what are some of the problems that are going on in the relationship. So one of the things that you could do is seek out marriage counseling, but both parties have to be willing to participate. That's the key. It can't be just one person. It has to be two people willing to participate and be a part of that process. So that means that they're just as eager as you to make this situation work. It might not work if just one person is getting counseling and not the other, because nobody's perfect. So we all have idiosyncrasies or things that each of us may not like of one another. And so therefore, it's necessary for us to focus on self. What can we do to better ourselves in the relationship? Um, it's not just about that one party and what it is that they're doing. It's also about what you're doing that they don't like. So sometimes they always say, look in the mirror and reflection. So we might want to self-reflect on some of the things that we're doing. Think about what we hear all the time in our ears, how a person feels, and say, oh, well, maybe something I need to work on, perhaps. So yes, marriage counseling could be beneficial. They're not really there to tell you what to do with your marriage or just tell you, oh, this is not going to work. That's really not what it's all about. I think the thing that it's more like just listening and trying to help you have some self-discovery with self, and really helping both parties come to an agreement or a disagreement or a conclusion as to whether this in fact is going to work or not. So sometimes when another person, let's say a third party, is really kind of collaborating or facilitating, they may use certain verbiage words that will help you to self-identify some of your shortcomings as well as the other parties. And then you're like, oh, I see what I need to work on. I didn't realize it. Because sometimes you may not realize it, or the other person may be saying you're doing something, you don't believe it. When you heard it from a third party, then perhaps there's some truth or validity to it. So I think that marriage counseling can be helpful for people who are on the brinks of a divorce and feel like there's just no way out. But I think the essential thing is that if you do seek counseling, for some, there's closure. It's like, look, we did everything. We were together for all these years. We tried counseling. A lot of people get spiritual counseling. They'll talk to a pastor. But you can't change behavior. You can't change character. You can't change anybody. If anybody's wanting to work on a relationship and they feel that it is failing in certain areas, that specific individual have to be willing to make change within themselves. Not for the sake of the marriage, but for the sake of wanting to make change for the betterment of themselves. And with that will come a prosperous marriage. So with that being said, yes, marriage counseling is essential for those who are seeking solace and trying to make something work, especially if they've been together for more than 20 years or so, or 10 years, even 5 years, even 2, I don't know. So it's not really a time necessary to determine whether something's going to work. Generally speaking, if you get into a relationship, if there's a lot of red flags starting off, then you might want to reevaluate your choices. But if it started off wonderful and all of a sudden you guys outgrew each other, you're going down different paths, you have different views, then it may be worth coming back to the table, looking at what has transpired over the years and seeing what you can do to help one another bring back the spark and the love and the joy that you once had. So with that being said, this is Dr. Taylor. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you have any questions or you'd like to talk about a certain subject matter, let me know. Have a great day.